The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, "Stop judging, that you may not be judged. For as you judge, so will you be judged. And the measure with which you measure will be measured out to you. Why do you notice the splinter in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the wooden beam in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, 'Let me remove that splinter from your eye,' while the wooden beam is in your own? You hypocrite! Remove the wooden beam from your eye first. Then you will see clearly to remove the splinter from your brother's eye." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Beloved brothers and sisters, many of our young student friars have left for their vacation. The Vietnamese students especially have not been home for 3 to 5 years. And among the things I tell them before they leave is, you are now going home after some time, and things will be different. People will be different. Remember, you have come home to bring some happiness to your families. Stop making judgments, corrections. Stop making comments at home. Many times, you might feel the need to correct because things are not done properly the way you see it. You may want to correct because you think some things are improper. I say, hold yourself. You are not there to inconvenience them. You are not there to disturb them. You are there to make them happy. It is not your vocation to correct people. My dear brothers and sisters, the Gospel this morning has many beautiful points. I limit myself to 3 short points. The first, brothers and sisters, we need to judge. We need to assess. We need to choose. But it is not our vocation to correct people. Even if we are superiors and provincials, even if we are parents, it is not our vocation to correct people until some things are clear. The first point, truth alone is not enough. Just because something is true and even wrong, it does not mean we have the right to correct. Because Jesus is very clear in the Gospels. To handle the truth, you need certain aesthetics. You need a certain elegance. You need a certain charm even, a certain finesse. Because sometimes we correct people out of impulse. We correct people out of timing. We correct people without considering their state. And that is why Jesus speaks in the parables. I speak the truth in parables, Jesus says, because people might look but not perceive. People may listen but not understand. So this is an important point. The truth has to be packaged well so that it is received, it is perceived, and it is understood. And this is an important point and an important sign of a good superior, of a good parent, of a good teacher. They know how to package the truth so that it is palatable, It is not obnoxious. It is not arrogance. And that is why, among other things, the truth is not a tanque de guerra. The truth is not a sledgehammer. It is not enough to simply have the truth. We need the right energy. And we need a lot of patience in handling the truth. And the person we are correcting, when we need to, can sense that. Now, even the best of us, even good people, sometimes forget, in our itch to defend the truth, in our itch to protect boundaries, in our itch to even uphold good morals, even the itch to correct. Too often we try to impose the truth on people who are not even ready to hear it. And we impose the law, we subdue opposing views by rudeness. And contrary to Jesus' admonition, Jesus says in the parable of the wheats and the weeds, remember that parable? It's none of your business to root out the weeds. That's God's business. He says at the end of time, the Lord will know what to do with it. He'll separate the chaff from the wheat, burn the chaff. But in the meantime, do not uproot them, because you might uproot the wheat as well with the weeds. And sometimes we become overeager to uproot any weed that we find. And we are overeager to remove what we think is wrong, what we think is distasteful, what we think is improper. So, dear brothers and sisters, passion is not enough. The second point. Neither is truth enough. The occupational pitfall is this. Many times we end up like the elder brother in the parable in Luke 15. We do all the right things, but we stay outside in judgment, angry at people who have strayed. And Jesus calls us to patience and right energy when even we need to correct. The third point is this. Henry Nouwen, in his book, The Return of the Prodigal, puts it beautifully. He says, the main thing that has to happen in order to have a conversion of heart is to move from being judged to being a repentant sinner. I have heard confessions for the past 30 years as a priest. And one thing I can see, and I can say without hesitation, people are at their best when they are honestly confessing their wrongdoing. People are at their best when they come conscious of their sin, justifying, no justifications of what they have done, accepting their fault. I have seen people at their best when they do that. In other words, what's the answer? What do we do to break the cycle of correcting people? Even correcting people without discernment, without patience, and without finesse. My dear brothers and sisters, to be conscious of our own sin and to come to people conscious of our own iniquity will humble us. Because when we stand and correcting people from a certain moral ascendancy, from a certain superiority, it comes across very clearly. But when you correct people conscious of your own limitations, conscious of standing in your own sin, you emit a different energy. And people will see your love, your compassion, that you are correcting them not just because you want to correct them. You are correcting them because you love them dearly. That is why when I was a young parish priest here, I became parish priest at 36. Your parish priest here, 1999 to 2005, 6 years. The first thing Archbishop Tirona told me was, June, love people first. Then if you must, correct them. But never correct them unless they are convinced that you love them. So dear brothers and sisters, I hope this helps all of us. Judge, we need to do that. We need to assess. We need to make decisions. It's not about that. It's about thinking we are better. And we correct people. And we see everything that's wrong. And we think it's our vocation to change the world. Many times, the wheat and the weeds have to grow together. Then, at the right time, and with a lot of patience and finesse, if you must, intervene. If you want to be a good superior, and a superior who is loved, do that. If you want to be a good parent, and a parent who is loved more than feared, do that. The wisdom of the gospel.